Welcome to the Registry Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Registry of Deeds of Plymouth County. This show is about Plymouth County real estate. This show is being taped in May. We're reporting on the numbers for April. So I have a great guest coming on the show, Elvira Caldeira, who is with NeighborWorks of southeastern Massachusetts. They're combining with an organization called Housing Solutions. She's going to talk about that merger and the services they provide. So let's get to the numbers. You got to see an image of deeds. Deeds are sales of property. There were 688 sales recorded in April, less than the 798 in March, down 7% for the first 4 months of 2019. You're going to see an image of the sales by community. As you can see, Plymouth and Brockton have the higher numbers of sales, but every one of our 27 communities have some activity. Obviously, the larger the community, the more sales. On that list, you'll see January, February, March, and April sales. The number of sales dropped slightly overall from March to April. Next, you're going to see a chart of mortgages. We actually had a bump up in mortgages for the month of April. Rates went down, and many people took advantage of the lower rates to refinance. We haven't seen a lot of refinancing in a long time, but clearly most people use mortgages to purchase homes, but when you find the rates are low enough from a prior mortgage and you can refinance, you can save yourself some money. I advise you to contact your lender and see if their rates currently make it worthwhile for you, because certainly many people have taken advantage of that. The next image you're going to see is of foreclosure deeds. We've tracked these over the years since the financial meltdown of 2008. They've very much lowered over those years, almost to the point of not being significant. There are only 22 foreclosure deeds recorded in April. You can see on the bar chart how low that is from last year's trend. Next image you're going to see is of foreclosure notices. A foreclosure notice also has been going down significantly from last year, but there are only 57 foreclosure notices in April, up from the 38 in March, but 32% lower than last year, 41% lower over the first 4 months than last year. You're going to see a listing of foreclosure deeds and foreclosure notices by community, all 27 communities of Plymouth County. Usually it's Brockton and Plymouth that run 1 and 2. A foreclosure deed is when a lender has taken back a property from the owner, usually for non-payment. A foreclosure notice is the first document we see recorded in the chain of title that shows someone's facing difficulty. If you're facing difficulty, reach out to a federal housing counselor, see if they can modify your loan and keep you from foreclosure. So I have a great guest coming on in the next segment, Elvira Caldeira. She's from a current group, NeighborWorks of Southern Mass, and they're joining with Housing Solutions to form one organization. Will Elvira tell that story? So we'll see you in the next segment. Welcome back to the Register's Report. Again, my name is John Buckley. I'm the Registrar of Deeds of Plymouth County. This part of the show, we always try to do something educational in nature, someone that would come in and let you know what's going on out there in the community. And over the years, we've had surveyors and commercial real estate brokers, assessors, and others. But I have a great guest today, Elvira Caldeira of NeighborWorks Southern Mass. For starters, we'll start with that. But welcome, Elvira.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
Yeah, I know you've been a guest on my show before.
Yes, it's always a pleasure.
Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in this type of program?
Sure. So my background has been banking. I started off in retail, and then I became a loan officer, a CRA loan officer. And from there, I was able to get a position here with NeighborWorks Southern Mass as their HomeOwnership and Lending Director. And it's been great to be able to help clients in the same capacity as I did as a loan officer.
So what bank was it that you worked for?
I worked for Rockland Trust.
Okay,
Yes.
sure. It's certainly a well-known
Yes.
bank. And whenever I talk to you, I always try to shame all of us that sometimes have trouble with English because you speak many languages. You want
Yes, I do.
to tell our viewers?
Yes, so I speak English, Portuguese, Spanish, and Cape Verdean Creole.
That's great. It's
Yes.
impressive. Yeah.
Thank you.
So clearly, we had a very close working relationship with NeighborWorks of Southern Mass, and I know you've been on the show before when we talked about the foreclosure crisis.
That's right, yes.
And NeighborWorks was a federal housing authorized counselor to help people modify their loans, keep themselves out of foreclosures.
That's right, yeah. So our Brockton office was open for that particular reason, and believe it or not, we still do that type of work. It's not as heavy as we did back in 2008, but we still have clients that come into us that need some help with modifications, and we assist them still with that same problem.
Yeah, so in the first segment of the show, I talked about the current foreclosure numbers and how they've dropped so much over the years, and thankfully we aren't facing that issue right now.
Yeah, and I honestly feel that that's more because people are being more educated about what type of loan they're getting, and just the house that they're buying, they're being more cautious about their budget. And we do our first-time home buyer workshops, and that we've seen a lot of people come to a workshop now as their first step, whether it be like their final step because it's required by their lender, which is great, which is what we wanted. So they're now a better educated buyer, and now they can make a solid decision on the type of loan they get.
You're clearly responsible and sustainable home ownership is
Correct.
what everyone wants to promote
Absolutely,
now after what we went through 10 years ago.
Absolutely, yep. Going over budget and realizing what it is to have an additional expense, which is all of the homeowner's expense. So it's good.
So how do they find out, anybody watching, how would they find out about these training programs?
Sure. So right now, if you Google first-time homebuyer workshops, our organization comes up first. So you can just click on NeighborWorks Southern Mass, and you'll go directly to our website. It's very easy to register. We have a calendar with all of the classes we have listed, and we have them in different locations. So we do them in Brockton, Quincy, we do them in different Middleborough, we've done them here in Plymouth. So we have different locations sponsored by different banks. But it's very easy to sign up, and they pay right online. We try to make it as easy as possible for clients to get into a workshop.
I tell people it's the Lamars of home ownership. Anybody that's had a child and had to go through that training at the hospitals and, to teach you how to be aware of all that stuff.
That's right, yes.
But it's a great program.
Yes, it is.
But before I get into other programs you do, I thought it would be important on this show to talk about your recent merger.
Correct. So recently we announced, as Tuesday of last week, we announced our merger with another nonprofit organization, Housing Solution. They also are very great. They offer great programs. So it would be a very comparable merger together. We kind of it's a good marriage, I should say. We are going to be able to service a lot more of clients in the community, giving different services. It's just, in a lot of the things that they do well, and what we do well. So together, we become more powerful. So we're very excited, and we have a different footprints of places we can also cover as well.
So Housing Solutions,
Yes.
is based in Kingston?
Yes, their main office is in Kingston,
Yeah.
which there will still remain an office there.
Right.
And so now we will have 4 offices, which is Kingston, Quincy, Brockton, and New Bedford.
Right, that's quite a service area.
Yes, yeah.
And over the bridge on the Cape, there's a different group that does it?
There is other organization in the
Okay.
area that covers the Cape
Good.
areas,
That's-
yes.
That's, again, that's quite a
Yes,
large area.
it is, yeah.
So I know one of the things you also, as an organization, have been involved in is owning a home for renters,
Yes, landlord training.
landlord training.
Yes, we do those as well. Those are separate from our regular workshop.
Right.
We do those on a one-on-one basis. Cindy from our Brockton office and Joe Medallo from our Brockton office are the counselors who do those. So we do them face-to-face, or if you can't make it, we do virtual. So we do like a Zoom meeting, so if people are more technical, they can do it that way. But it's great because especially if you're a first-time home buyer and now you're going to be a landlord, which
Right.
is a business in itself. So there's a lot of laws and regulations that they need to be aware of. So it's very important, even if it's not required by the lender for them to take it, we always suggest clients to take that.
And when I practiced law privately, there were so many people that were really good intentioned,
Right.
but got caught up in the very complicated laws of escrow, of
Absolutely, yes.
rent, and versus security deposit
Correct.
and all those kinds
Keeping
of
those
things.
separate from their own personal
Right,
account. That's very
right,
important.
right.
Yeah, and so we've gotten great feedbacks from anyone who's taken the training with us. I mean, Cindy and Joe do a really good job with doing that.
Right. And I know NeighborWorks finished, at least up in the north end, a whole number of free tax returns.
Yes. We do our VITA program, which is, it starts beginning of February or mid-February till the beginning of April. It's a free service, and it has income limit amount, and this year was like $54,000, but we do so many of those. I believe we did over 700 to 800 returns this year, which was awesome. And we used to do them in one location, just in Brockton. We've added a couple of locations now. Actually, just one other location in Randolph.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sure with the merger, you're going to be doing a lot of
Yeah.
things in conjunction.
correct?
And it's not actually NeighborWorks Southern Mass anymore.
No.
The title is,
It's going to be NeighborWorks Housing Solutions.
Okay,
So
cool.
not too much of a difference.
Yeah,
Still
right.
simple enough for
if
people
they
to remember.
Googled either one, they'd probably
That's right.
still pull it up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for a while, both the information will still be up for people to.
So I know there have been a couple other things that I think people might be interested in. From time to time, when there is money available for down payment assistance,
Correct.
you manage those, your organization?
We do, yes. We currently have, we manage the Brockton Down Payment Assistance and the South Shore Consortium Down Payment Assistance, which covers 4 cities and towns, which are Weymouth, Holbrook, Weymouth, Holbrook, Braintree, and Quincy.
Okay.
Those 4 cities and towns. And so we love that program. We just finished another down payment assistance program which is called our Neighborhood Lift program, which was a really good program. A lot of people were able to take advantage of that as well. So
Great. And you've also been involved as an organization in lead paint abatement?
correct. So we do the lending and the management of the lead loans through Mass Housing, their Mass Housing loan program, and it's a 0% deferred loan program. So people who are owner occupied and have children under 6, they could take advantage of this program. Deferred meaning they don't have a monthly payment; they just have to pay it when they sell, transfer title.
So is that just in Brockton, or is it?
No, it
everywhere?
covers the whole state.
Oh,
yes,
wow,
yeah.
wow.
So we've done them.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of older housing stock
Very
here
much
in
so.
Plymouth,
Yep,
in some of the towns nearby,
yep.
that people ought to take advantage of it.
That's true, and we've done them in different areas that we don't have a presence in, but they found out about us and we can help them.
Great.
Yeah,
Anything futuristic we should talk about?
just great powerful information that we're going to be able to provide now, being the two organization. We're still going to be offering all of our services, but we'll be able to just do it in a much bigger capacity now. So we're looking for different opportunities and different things we can help the communities.
Okay. So why don't we take advantage of your skills,
Okay.
and in each of your languages, just give a 30-second presentation of what the merger is all about.
Okay. So in Português,
Yeah.
nós vamos combinar com uma outra organização que vamos poder dar mais serviço para nossa comunidade.
Spanish?
Nosotros vamos a reunir con otra compañía que vamos a poder dar más oportunidades para la comunidad.
And
En Cape Verde Creole.
Cape Verdean Creole.
Yes, so nós estamos combinando com uma outra companhia para poder fazer mais trabalho para nossa comunidade.
Yeah, I know we as organizations don't do enough to promote people that have English as a second language and haven't quite
Thank
made
you.
the transition.
Thank
for
you.
some of these programs. That's quite a skill, you know.
Thanks. Yeah.
So what do you see going on over the next year with the organization as far as the transition?
Yeah.
I know that it was a great event at Stonehill last week when it
Yes.
was kicked off.
Yes. Yeah, so we are planning on expanding our lending opportunities, so being able to offer more financial assistance to clients, so whether it be more down payment assistance, expanding the lead loan program, rehab loans for clients that may not be able to get traditional lending through a bank. We want to be able to help them just to get their home maybe, safe. And just expanding our education, doing the home buyer workshop, financial coaching to help clients in any areas that they're in or any stage that they're in. We have a lot of self-sufficiency programs, which are, housing, getting people into homes, and housing vouchers. That's more towards the housing solution would bring on to us to be able to add. And we're just looking to expand and find more government programs that we can, accept and be able to give it out to the community.
Yeah, home buyer education is the future of real estate in terms
Yes,
of,
yes.
again, responsible, sustainable ownership. And I have participated a couple times in the Credit for Life fairs that are run
Yes,
across
we
Plymouth
do that
County.
too, yes.
And I know you're involved with that. When they can do it at the high school level and
Yeah.
kids get a budget and they try to work from that budget and try to, be able to allocate
Yes,
whatever money they're given to do that. I
Right.
think it's all part of the big picture
it is.
of sustainability
Yeah.
and financial coaching.
Right, and I think it ties in again to being able to show people this early on so that they can make better decisions as they go forward. And when we do that with the kids, we see how they struggle with, oh, now I don't have enough money, so they have to rework their whole sheet over to make it work. And so we do that in our classes. We do a credit and budget, which is they do a budget sheet with their income, and they're listing all of their expenses. And it's like a reality check once they put it on paper, to see what they're really spending their money on. And so it kind of gives them now a more realistic approach to getting into their goal, which is to become a homeowner.
Yeah, it's kind of been fascinating to me. Originally, it was a requirement of a lot of the lenders, Mass Housing and
Yes.
some others that require it. But I'm hearing from meetings that I attend, more and more people are just hearing about it, and before they even get into the marketplace of even figuring out what they can afford and what they ought to do, they're taking the course in advance.
That's right, and that's what we've seen. So before, we used to see clients that come in because they are in that mass housing or MHP1 loan program that requires that they take that class, and so they're there for their final step. But more and more, we're seeing people that are starting off from the beginning, which is really what we'd like to see, is that they see what's available, and then they can go to their lender and they can understand any of those terminologies or what's available and make a decision based on that.
Great, I think it's great. And I think it was Joe Madiro that was talking about now there's a hybrid version. You can do a class
Correct.
and do some online.
Yeah, so for you to be able to get certification for the workshop, you have to attend an 8-hour course.
Okay.
So before we used to do it one day, but it's a lot of information to retain in one day. So we broke it down into 2 days, so 2-day workshops, so 4 hours each day. And then we now offer a hybrid, which is they can do half of it online, and they go through the modules themselves, and they come in for another 4-hour session. It helps them so they can take their time also, but also it just, if their time or schedule doesn't allow them to take 2 days off, they would only have to come in 1 day.
So before we close out, can you share your contact information?
Sure, you can reach me. My direct line is 617-770-2227, extension 34. My email address is e.caldeira, CALDEIRA, @nwsoma.org.
And ask for Elvira.
And ask for Elvira.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
coming on.
much, John.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. Again, I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. I want to thank Elvira for the great presentation she did on the combination of those two great agencies. They're going to have a lot of economies of scale and be able to provide more services. And their service areas being combined is going to be a good thing going forward. In this segment of the show, we always try to do something relative to the month and the holidays of the month. Being the month of May, May 1st was May Day, celebration of Law Day across America. The 5th was Cinco de Mayo, the 12th, Mother's Day, 18th, Armed Forces Day, and the 27th, Memorial Day. I'm going to try to tie a couple of our notable land records to Memorial Day, the celebration for all those that have served our country in the armed services. First one you're going to see is Island Grove Park. Island Grove Park is in the town of Abington. It is the crown jewel of parks in the town of Abington. It was the site of many pre-Civil War abolitionist movements. It is a beautiful park to walk around. It had been founded as an amusement area back in the late 1800s. And it was a place that many people came just to enjoy what at that time was a great thing to do, to come to a park and walk around. What's significant about Island Grove Park relative to Memorial Day is many years ago they built a bridge connecting a part of Abington across the pond to the park. It is named Memorial Bridge in honor of all those that have served in the armed services. There is a monument at the end of the bridge that is on one side a soldier and one side a sailor monument. Clearly, it was added during the 1912 Abington Bicentennial celebration and just a place that people visit, the Memorial Arch and Bridge in memory of the services of the sacrifices of Civil War soldiers and sailors from Abington. So the next image you're going to see is of Brockton City Hall. Brockton City Hall is one of the most beautiful municipal buildings in Plymouth County. Matter of fact, when the National League of Cities did a book about city halls across America, Brockton City Hall was on the cover years ago. But Brockton City Hall was built as part of a memorial to the Grand Army of the Republic and Civil War veterans. It is located on the site of a former school. That's why it is called School Street. It was built with a architect of Wesley Ling Minor in the Victorian Romanesque style. It was dedicated in 1894. It'll be celebrating its 125th anniversary this year. And it is a place that if you ever get a chance to go in there, and many Civil War buffs do, there are some beautiful paintings in the main area and in the rotunda about events that happened in the Civil War. from the battle between the Monitor and the Merrimack submarines, the Battle of Fort Wagner, and many other events that happened during the Civil War. There were some paintings that were done that are absolutely stunning, and anyone that's a Civil War buff, as they say, would be missing something if they didn't go and look at that memorial. And outside Brockton City Hall in the plaza, there are a number of monuments, including one to the fallen firefighters that lost their lives during the Strand Theater fire, and a monument to Billy McGonigal, a Brocktonian who was an inventor of the catcher's mitt. Next, we're going to see an image of Oliver Wendell Holmes. He had a summer home in Mattapoisett. He was born in Boston, the son of a prominent writer and abolitionist. In his senior year at Harvard University, he enlisted in Mass Militia. He saw a lot of action, was wounded seriously 3 times. As I said, he and his family owned a summer cottage in Mattapoisett, purchased in 1873. He was a very well-known legal scholar and became a justice of the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts. And in 1902, he was named and confirmed by Teddy Roosevelt, who was president at the time, and confirmed unanimously by the United States Senate, which doesn't happen a lot these days. And he was known as the Great Dissenter. He wrote a lot of opposition opinions in opposition to some of the most historical Supreme Court decisions. He retired from the court at 90 years of age. He died in 1935 and is buried in Arlington Cemetery. So next, and last but not least, we have one of our colonial records. It's a colonial records that we have stored at the Registry of Deeds every Friday on the last day of the month. We bring those forward. And it also was related to Memorial Day because in 1636, in the Colony Book of Laws, the colonial court voted that it was enacted by the court that if any man shall be sent forward as a soldier and shall return maimed, he will be maintained competently by the colony for his entire life. Clearly, even back in the 1600s, the colonists recognized the responsibility to take care of those that are injured in war. Certainly a great highlight of what we look forward to and celebrate every Memorial Day. So I want to thank PAC TV for allowing me to do this program, Lorna Green Baker and Christine Richards from my office, David Antoine, Ben Alexander, and Keith Hughes for helping me put this show together. By doing this show here at PAC TV, I get to share information about what is happening in the real estate market and let people know a little bit about our history and also some educational part of the program of what is out there for services in our communities. So hope you have a great Memorial Day, and we'll see you next month.